Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm going to be doing my plans for November. They're going to be a little bit different, so kind of. Normally I set a TBR for the month. I've been doing various different ways of setting my TBR, and I've come to the realisation after a weekend away with Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings and Lauren from Lauren and the Books, and I was talking to them and I was saying that I just find as soon as I set a TBR for a readathon, a TBR for my month, I instantly just don't want to read those books. And I was saying I don't want to not have a selection of books, because then I struggle to pick off my shelves a little bit, and I do like to have like a pile to pick from. So it's a bit of a difficult one really, because you're either setting a TBR or you're not, and neither I feel are the perfect thing for me. And anyway, it's all a bit of a mess. If you watched my video with the lovely Mercedes, we were talking about how at this time of year we're really feeling this need to read middle grade books, and I've really just been feeling this need to binge read them. I find them magical and enchanting, and I just love that feeling of childhood and just melting away into a fantastical world where you kind of know things are going to be okay. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just really feeling the middle grade at the moment. So what I'm going to be doing in November is a middle grade madness for me. I have one buddy read that I'm doing with the lovely Steffi from the channel Fun Size Steffi, and we're going to be reading The Mars Room. This is an adult fiction book by Rachel Kushner, and this I think was longlisted for the Man Booker Prize, and people said it was really good. And it is set in 2003, and it's about a woman who is serving 2 consecutive life sentences, and we're going to be buddy reading this together. We're going to be reading a certain number of chapters a day, and I'm really looking forward to it. I enjoyed buddy reading Little Women with her last month, so this is the one sort of adult book that I shall be reading. Now that's obviously unless I decide that I'm desperate to read adult books, and then I shall do that. But all I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you a list of all of the middle grade books, and it turns out there's quite a few more than I expected that are on my shelves that I will potentially be reading this month. And what I'm going to try and do is every 3 middle grade books I read, I'm going to do reviews for you. So you can expect to try and, well, I'm going to try and have at least one video up a week of 3 reviews in one video. We'll see how that works. But let's go through the books that I have that are middle grade that are on my shelf. First book I've got is Tin by Padraig Kennedy. This is about a boy who works for a man who makes mechanical robotic children. There's a discovery, there's an adventure. This looks good. I've then got one that's been on my shelf for quite a while, and that is The Beginning Woods by Malcolm McNeill. This is the story of a young boy who is the sort of last hope to discover why people keep vanishing. He has to venture into the beginning woods. I think this is going to be quite a dark, magical story, so yeah, about time I read it really. Another journeying book, which I think is middle grade, you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, maybe it is YA, but I think it's middle grade, is The Beast is an Animal by Petronelle van Arsdale. And this is the story of a girl. She's in a village, the Soul Eaters come. She's the only one that sees them. She has to go on a quest. Is she a witch? We don't know, we'll find out. Again, a magical quest story. Next I have Wild Folk by Sylvia V. Linstead. This is the story of 2 hares who have to venture to try and save where they come from. It's said to be good for fans of Frances Hardinge and Philip Pullman, which I am, and it sounds like it's going to be one of those Watership Downey magical creature stories, which I think are great. I have a book called Inside Out and Back Again by Thanha Lai. It's a National Book Award winner and Newbery Honour book. This is about a 10-year-old girl called Ha, and she lives in Saigon. It's about the Vietnam War and her life. I've heard amazing things. It's written in verse, so I'm a little bit tentative because I am not good with books in verse, but I'm prepared to read it and find out. We have a book that's been on my shelf for far too long, and that is Wildwood by Colin Malloy with illustrations by Carson Ellis. This is a beautiful hardback book with, just as it says, beautiful illustrations in it. This is about a girl, her baby brother is abducted by crows and she must venture into the woods. There's a lot of woods in these stories, but that is this one. This one I'm not sure if it is middle grade or not. It's The Bone Dragon by Alexia Casal. I'm in two minds whether this is middle grade or YA, but this is the story about Evie. Everyone thinks she's broken her ribs in a car crash. She doesn't want to talk about why she was adopted and why she really needed an operation, and it's talking about a piece of bone which she had as a souvenir from hospital, which she carves into a dragon, and it comes to life at night in dragon dreams, helping her to heal and give strength. So I think that sounds magical, and I'm sure there is a more dark undertone to it, so this will be an interesting read. A book that is perfect for this time of year that I should have read last year, and that is The Creakers by Tom Fletcher. It's about time I get to this. I loved The Christmasaurus. There's no reason why I shouldn't enjoy this one as well. It's a little bit darker, a little bit creepier about the creakers, these beings beneath the bed. This is about the right time of year to read this. Again, I'm not 100% sure on this one, but I think it might be, it's either YA or middle grade, and that is Dancing Jacks by Robin Jarvis. This is the start of a series. I believe there might be a few out now. It's set in a coastal town where a strange out-of-print book is found, full of colourful stories of castles, knights and unicorns, but the book, written by a mysterious turn-of-the-century occultist, is no fairy tale. Those who start it, they just can't put it down no matter how much they want to. Dun, dun, dun. I just think this sounds scary and creepy. Again, I think this is middle grade, but I'm not 100% sure, and that is Jeanette Winterson's Tangle Wreck. This is all to do with time and timekeepers and people getting stuck in different times, and it sounds magical too. I have a book that the lovely Mercedes passed on to me, The Wild Robot by Peter Brown. I've heard mixed reviews of this one, so I'm going into it a little bit with trepidation. It says when robot Roz opens her eyes for the first time, she discovers that she is alone on a remote wild island. She has no idea how she got there or what her purpose is, but she knows she needs to survive. The island, but as Roz slowly befriends the animals, the island starts to feel like home, until one day her mysterious past comes back to haunt her. So a robot story. Another book that the lovely Mercedes passed on to me is The Spindlers by Lauren Oliver. This is about Liza's brother, Patrick, who changes overnight. She knows that it's the Spindlers that have gotten him and stolen his soul, and she's the only one that can save him. There is Arusha and the End of Time by Roshana Chokshi. This is, I think, a Indian mythology story for lovers of sort of the Percy Jackson-esque, I think. I've heard brilliant things about it, so I'm looking forward to giving it a go. This one was recommended sort of as a byproduct of another book, and that is Circus Mirandus by Cassie Beasley. It's about a circus that provides miracles and a young person that needs a miracle, and so starts to search out this particular circus. I've also picked up two books from my school library that I thought looked good and everyone raves about, including our school librarian, and that is The Wizards of Once by Cresta Cowell. She is the author of How to Train Your Dragon, which I haven't read, but I really like the bits that I get to hear the kids read at school. This is the start of a new series, so I'm looking forward to trying this one. And I also picked up this one, which I thought sounded interesting, and it's The Girl with the Lost Smile by Miranda Hart. I really like Miranda Hart's comedy. I loved her in the TV show Miranda. This says Chloe is a girl with a big imagination, a big heart and an even bigger smile, but when she wakes one terrible day to discover she's lost her smile, she must embark on an extraordinary adventure with some very unusual friends to find it. That just sounds really fun and cutesy, and the front cover looks really interesting, so I want to go along with her and see if she can find her smile. Loads of books there. There's some that I've already read that I haven't showed you, but keep an eye out. I'm hoping to post on Fridays 3 mini review videos for you to see 3 books each week that I have read from this pile of a middle grade, and yeah, I'm excited. So much magic to be had. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you've enjoyed them, what your favourites are. Can you recommend me any other middle grade, and let middle grade madness begin. Bye for now, BookTube.